Now, in a shocking incident, a Kannada actress by the name Chetana Raj has passed away after undergoing a plastic surgery. The actor's parents have lodged a complaint alleging medical negligence. The actor had complained of uneasiness post her plastic surgery. She was rushed to the hospital where she was declared brought dead. Chetna's parents have lodged a complaint with the cops following the inquest proceedings, which are still on. And I'm being joined by my colleague Neha Hebali live on the broadcast, who's reporting from Bengaluru. Neha, a very, very unfortunate and a very tragic incident, coming in from the state of Karnataka, from Bengaluru, where a young actress lost her life post plastic surgery. So what do we know about the probe so far? We know that the parents of the actress have lodged a police complaint. But in terms of the probe, are there any other reasons that have also emerged so far in this case?
Well, a couple of things, of course, that the police would be looking at right now as to what went wrong with the plastic surgery, whether the allegations over here leveled by the parents, of course, are of any truth. Of course, now it's important to mention that immediately after the surgery was actually carried out, this was a fat-free surgery that she was getting done. Minutes after, in fact, this was done, she started to have some uneasiness, is what we understand, and she was actually rushed to another hospital over there, the Kannada Hospital, where, where, of course, she was rushed to the ICU, and once they declared her brought dead itself. Despite that, on the insistence of the doctor who had accompanied her, the Kannada Hospital tried reviving her. They carried out a CPR as well, but all in vain. The actor was dead by then already. So, as far as the police are concerned, of course, right now they would, be probing the angles of what could have gone wrong at the Shetty Cosmetic Center, where she actually got the surgery done. Doctors would, of course, be questioned. Later, the Kannada Hospital also is likely to be questioned. But we'll really have to wait and see what comes out of this. It's quite unfortunate, the incident that's taken place. And even as we're reporting about this now, a few voices over here from Karnataka have actually come forward, and they've said that it's really quite unfortunate why people, aren't comfortable in their own skin, and people should start, getting comfortable in their own skin. So, of course, this incident, again, just a reminder of, how unfortunate surgery could have turned out.
All right, Neha, all right. Thank you for all those details. And I'm also being joined by my another colleague, Griha Atul Siddiqui, live from the Delhi newsroom. Griha, a very good afternoon to you. A very tragic and unfortunate incident being reported from Bengaluru. And now, once again, the spotlight is back on this whole debate over, this certain pressure that especially people in the showbiz business go through of looking a certain type, and, this whole pressure of, losing weight, looking a certain type, going for a certain skin color. So if you could just throw light on the larger debate, that what exactly, could have led to this tragedy, and why more and more youngsters, in fact, are going under the knife.
Absolutely. You said it right there, Pooja. This is something that we've been talking about, and this is something that, more and more young actors have really gone in under the knife, and they have spoken about how they want to look a certain way. It is basically peer pressure. It is a lot to do with the kind of demands of the profession. And remember, this is a 21-year-old actor, Chetana Raj. Unfortunate incident that's come to light from Bengaluru. And all of 21, they are underconfident. They want to be at a certain pedestal very early on in the career, and not enough guidance. There is so much of competition, which is why obviously they are pressured into looking a certain way. Here we are talking about a liposuction surgery, so to speak. There are people and actors who've gone under the knife and wanting to present themselves in a completely different light. That is why they actually go under the knife and talk about these kind of procedures. Is something that we have been talking about. It's not just true for an industry like Kannada. We've seen it in the Hindi film industry, also in the television industry. I have happened to interact with a lot of the actors who are very, very young, and the kind of odd hours that they keep. In fact, they don't have time to breathe from morning till night because of the daily soap pressure that they have to actually take care of. And on top of that, they are made to be pressured into looking a certain way, and which is why these things actually actually spring up and these things come about. And this is another instance in that same grain where we're talking about an actor who obviously got through this particular surgery, not even informing her parents about it. Remember, nobody was in the know of this. Went with her friends to go through this fat-free surgery, and this ended up taking her life. So something very, very unfortunate that's come from the Kannada film industry. And of course, we get more and more voices to speak about it. However, like you rightly mentioned, this is a larger debate where people actually talk about how actors, and especially young ones who are very vulnerable, are made to look a certain way. And if that is not the case, then they don't go higher up and higher rung on the ladder. That is why we see instances such as this, and this one's a very unfortunate one that's come from Kannada.
Yes, definitely. Even in the past, we've seen, in fact, careers getting ruined just because a certain plastic surgery went completely wrong. Even in Hollywood and Bollywood, I don't want to take names here, but we've seen how, in fact, careers have been ruined overnight. Now, another thing that I want to ask you here, I know it's a very endless debate and it's very subjective, but do you think somewhere the whole focus is getting shifted from, instead of focusing on the craft, the focus is now shifting to just, okay, how one is looking, how one is carrying themselves? Do you think somewhere in the midst of all of this, your art, the craft is getting ignored?
Absolutely. Pooja, we talk about how this influencer sort of spectrum has become really big when it comes to the film industry, and how actors are also influencers in their own right. Social media comes with its own set of pressures, and more actors are being put forth, and they have to present themselves not just on air, on the television screen or on the big screen. It's also social media, which has really become very important to, be spoken about. And that actually goes ahead and adds to the pressure. And which is why, it's not just about endorsement deals for them. It is also about getting film projects and getting television projects because of their social media pressure. Now, this adds to this word pressure, really, for all these actors, especially youngsters, because if they have to make a mark, they have to show a certain kind of standing on social media, a certain kind of following, whether it is in lakhs or millions. Only then are they actually approached for roles. Unfortunately, this is the sad reality, and because of which we see more and more actors really, going a certain way to actually just fit in. Fit in is the word over here, where they think that this is the only way possible, on account of which they would probably be looked at in a certain way and be approached for further roles, so that they get and make a mark early on. And this instant success is also something which is again debatable. It has come as part and parcel, because you have seen more and more youngsters who are actually getting into the industry really early, and because of which they really want to go ahead and attain a certain success very early on. Here we're talking about Chetana Raj. She has been part of daily soaps like Geeta, for that matter, which is very, very popular in Karnataka, in Bangalore. And because of that, she obviously wanted to actually try and make her marks in films also. And how does that happen is also because of the kind of popularity that she can attain in a short span of time. And all this is basically in a bid to actually reach there. It's a certain marker that an actor has set for himself or herself. They go ahead and make certain choices. Not enough guidance, like I said. Pressure ample. Obviously, there is no work-life balance, unfortunately. Then there are directors and producers who are obviously egging on these young minds, impressionable minds, to look a certain way, because of which instances like this, what happened with Chetna, really unfortunately happens.
Absolutely, Griha. A very unfortunate incident emerging from Bengaluru, which only makes us talk about, in fact, the larger issue that lies underneath. Thank you for all those valuable inputs.